Here's my 1981 Honda GL 1100. It's seen better days, but I got it wasn't in bad shape. It had that lovely fairing on it right there. I liked the what they call the naked gold wings. They got good looks, but the Vetter wasn't too good. In 1981, I guess they came out with the original Interstate. And I liked the Honda package. I mean, that looked good, but the aftermarket stuff, I'm not impressed with. Anyway, we took it off, and we won't be putting that back on. The fuel tank there, it it was a little bit rusty and crusty inside. The bike had sat for probably 7-8 years in the guy's barn. Originally, the guy said it had a bad starter, and he never got that fixed, and it sat, and then it sat and sat and sat, and well, we all know how that goes. Anyway. It makes for a good deal for me, I guess. We'll see. There's always a little bit more to be done than you think. I was really just going to do the timing belts and maybe change a few seals. The brakes weren't working. Rebuild a master cylinder or something. But you get into it, and the parts for these aren't that much. Everything is like 20, 25, 20 bucks. It's not a big deal. A lot better than a boat where it's bringing on another 1,000 here. At least it's bringing on another 20. I can live with that, I guess. Let me preface all this by saying I'm not a bike guy. I probably don't have 1,000 miles riding bikes. And I've been around for a long time, so that's not saying much. But I have put a few together. I think the first one was a 1969 Kawasaki H1. That was a freaky little bike that kind of cured my need for speed on motorcycles at an early age. But they're fun, and actually, I've always liked the Goldwings. I think they're a good looking bike. They got we might do a few little things to obviously I got I'll have to change the exhaust. That was all crusty, and we'll probably have to fabricate something out of some Harley mufflers. There's a lot of stuff online about these bikes, which is kind of cool. I'd like to thank everybody who does their online stuff. It helps me, not being a bike guy, it helps me to, figure out some little stuff. But anyway, I've got a bunch of seals coming, a bunch of rebuild kits, a few parts. I may do something. I'm not real fond of the looks or the seat that came. I like Hondas. They actually sent me to, not Honda, but the company I work for. They actually sent me to school to learn about Honda and Toyota manufacturing techniques, and I'm pretty impressed with both Hondas and Toyotas. But working on this thing a little bit, I'm impressed with everything. The fasteners are all real good quality. I've only broke one, I think, and that wasn't. I think that was something somebody else put in. I don't think it was original Honda. And you can kind of tell if somebody's worked on these things because it seems like I know that they torque everything from the factory. So when you go to take it apart, you can tell it's going to crack when you take it apart. And like I say, I'm impressed with the steel they used. There wasn't much rust on the frame of it. There was a little bit of rust on some areas that you might expect it on. Like let's see if we can zoom in on this just a little tiny bit here. There's a plate, an engine mount that goes in the front of the motor that. It's kind of got some little crustier metal. It might have been chromed actually, but and then the battery box that comes with, of course, any battery box is going to have some corrosion over the years. But I hit those with some phosphoric acid solution, and that kind of converts the iron oxide to iron phosphate. And then we'll a wire brush after it, get rid of there's like a bright residue. Sometimes it shows up on certain metals. Brush that off, and prime it and paint it, and it's a real good something I've used in the marine industry for years and years and years. It does a real good job of sealing up that rust and curing it. There's a little bit of corrosion in the. Sorry about that. Let's go over the fuel tank. A little bit of corrosion in the fuel tank too. went through and we've been cooking that for a couple days, and I've moved the tank in different positions a few times to try and make sure I get it all covered. I might, we're about done with that, so I'll drain that out and clean it up, and I might put some, we'll see what it looks like inside when I'm done, but I might put some sort of coating in there, or maybe I'll hit it with that that phosphoric acid solution type stuff. We'll see. I'm not sure what I'll do to finish that up, but from what I've seen, it definitely the anode's definitely going away. It's electrolysis process, so you must be depositing some metal back, don't you think? If you've got an anode and a cathode, and your anode's disappearing, that metal's got to be going somewhere. Anyway, it definitely is a neat process. I saw them using it over at a museum on the East Coast, at some naval museum. They were using that to restore parts they dug up off the ocean floor there. So I know it works. Scientific type deal. Got to trust science. Anyway, this is to be my project for another little bit. I got the parts are plentiful, and you kind of get started on it, and this is as far down as I'm gonna take it, I think. But you start looking at things. Well, gee, should I buy bearings? Well, yeah, they're only, let's say, $20. Yeah, I guess we'll replace those. Replace the fork seals. They needed it, and a lot of the rubber on the outside that can have oxygen get to it, and sunlight that definitely degrades it pretty fast. So I'm thinking about the brake lines. I see that there's some nice stainless steel ones you can get for $150 for a set of them, I guess. And that's they talk about that being a little bit better for braking, and I'm not sure if these hoses need it. We'll check them out and see, but. If I can see where if you get a braided stainless steel one, that might give you a little bit better braking. You're not going to have any flexing or not as much flexing in the hose, so that might be kind of a beneficial thing. We'll still see about we'll see how bad these hoses are. They seem to work okay, but that doesn't. There's a lot that goes on inside there. But anyway, this will be my first installment. Maybe I'll do another little video blurb here when I get a little further along. And my mom's always after me to tell your story, whatever. But we'll tell a story of a motorcycle. That's more fun. Thanks for listening, and we'll do this again sometime.